Yo, what's going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to be doing live trading. I've been getting a lot of requests from people to show how I trade live, what goes through my mind, what determines whether I sell, whether I buy more, so on and so forth. So this is going to be the video where I show you. So first things first, as you can see on the screen, the coin is called Pop. Now, I've currently got about 5 to 6 Solana in this. I'll show you in a second. And this might actually be the first day of a trading challenge. I've always thought about doing a trading challenge from 5 to 500 Solana, maybe, for example. So right now, I've actually put in 4 Solana into this, and it's currently on 5.97. So yeah, maybe this is going to be the first episode of the trading challenge. Now, I actually got into this around 1.3 million. Funny enough, I called it in my group at 1.1, but because of slippage and probably with the members in my group buying in, it got me in at 1.3. Now, I personally would never advise you to buy the top. Again, as I said, I wanted to buy 1.1. It put me in at 1.3. But I did also expect a little dip if it was to break below 1 mil. And I even said this in my group where I said, if it does fail to stay above 1 mil, we could have seen it go down to at least 500K, if not somewhere around like 6 to 700K. Because as I've said in other videos, that's a common psychological point that people will want to DCA into. So as you can see, that didn't actually happen, so which is great anyway because we're in profit. Now it's at 2 mil market cap. Now I'm going to tell you what goes through my mind when I see a chart like this so you can understand what should go through yours as well. First things first is, as you know, 2 mil as well as 1 mil as well as 1.5 mil, they're all psychological points, right? If you go to other charts, for example, and I'll see if I can bring up an example, maybe like Landlord, for example, whenever coins reach those numbers, there's inevitably going to be sales, whether it's people that have limit orders there or just people that think, oh, let me wait till 2 million or let me wait till 1 million and then I will sell, right? We've seen it here as well, for example. So you can see as soon as it, so if I just zoom out a little bit, as soon as it touched 1 mil, there was a huge red candle. That's because people have limit orders set to sell automatically at a million, right? But then it broke a mil straight after, right? That's a good indicator. A good indicator as to whether a coin is going to continue pumping is whether it struggles or not to pass the psychological points. Okay. Now, it's common for a coin to struggle. Now, I'll put that in quotation marks. Why? Because, again, there's going to be people that think, oh, is it going to pass the psychological point of 2 mil? Is it not going to pass? So on and so forth. And how I personally determine is how easy it is for it to stay around the psychological point. So, or how easy it is for it to break it. So, for example, as you can see here, it broke it really easily. So this was a no-brainer that when it broke it, I thought, okay, cool. It is actually going to continue going further because of how easy it broke 1 mil market cap, right? And then as you can see here, it just started bouncing off the new support, which was 1 mil. Now, in case you guys don't know, commonly what tends to happen is when a coin breaks a certain barrier, that barrier now becomes the next support, right? Or barrier on the lower side, whatever you want to call it. If you don't know the definition of support, that's why I'm trying to break it down in simpler terms. But for example, if we go down to the other psychological point of 500K, you'll see 500K, it again, psychological point, huge sales. There you go. It went down. Again, psychological point bounced off here, went down, and then it broke it. Then what happened? It never came back down under 500K. If it did, that would have been a bad sign and it would have probably continued to dip a lot further. But it didn't. It used 500K as support, right? And then it flew up. It hit 1 mil. And then what did it do? As soon as it broke the next big psychological point of 1 mil, it then used 1 mil as the support, right? So look, it goes up and it bounces off a mil, goes up, bounces off a mil, goes up, bounces off a mil, and then it flies up again, right? Now, the next psychological point, well, in fact, the next psychological point was 1.5 mil. Again, the proof is in the pudding. Look, it breaks 1.5 mil, bounces off 1.5 mil, breaks it. Sorry, it's already broken it. It goes up again, bounces off 1.5 mil. Now, ignore the fact that it has gone below it, right? Because it really needs to close below it for us to say, okay, it's broken a certain point. So, for example, now that it's closed, the candle has closed above 2 mil, we know that it's broken 2 mil. All right. So as you can see, and it's literally doing what I've just said. It's bouncing off 2 mil. And it probably won't stop bouncing off 2 mil. If it doesn't bounce off 2 mil and let's say it closes below 2 mil, 1.8, for example, we can expect it to go back down to the previous support, which was 1.5 mil, right? That's first things first. That's what I personally look out for. Now, what gave me confidence that this is going to break 2 mil is how well it stayed close to 2 mil. Like, as mentioned, usually if a coin is struggling to break the next barrier, you'll usually see a lot more of it, a lot more of the chart being towards the support rather than the resistance. So, for example, if this coin was struggling to break 2 mil, we would have seen it do this. So, all right, so let me just draw a line for 1.5 mil really quickly. So 1.5 mil is here. As you can see, although it did stay around 1.5 mil here, when it touched the next barrier, if it was weak, I would have expected it to go back down to here and just start doing this and this and this, and then it probably would have dropped down. But the reason why I had confidence that it's going to break 2 mil is because it didn't do that. As soon as it touched 2 mil, which was the next barrier, it stayed near it, right? It stayed near it and then it started pumping. All right. That's what we want to look out for next. Okay. So, for example, the next point we should expect to be a so-called barrier is probably 2.5 mil or 3 mil. All right. So, for example, now you can literally see what I'm speaking about. It's almost touched 2.5 mil, but it's not there yet. So we can't expect it to break 2.5 mil right now. When it approaches 2.5 mil, it might have a little bounce off it. If it can stay towards 2.5 mil, it will probably break it. That's how I see it. Right? If this doesn't go up to 2.5 mil and it just stays down here and it's struggling to even stay above 2 mil and it just drops below and closes below 2 mil, we can see a dip to the next support, which was 1.5 mil. All right. That's how I personally see it. So if I go back to my trade and I click refresh, right now I am in. Give me a second for it to refresh. Now I'm on almost 76% profit. So right now I'm on 7 SOL. In total, my whole wallet balance is around 7.7 SOL. So we're already, if we're doing a trading challenge, we're already 2.5 SOL in profit. Well, not anymore. It just went down a little bit. But yeah. Oh, there you go. So let's just see if it does what I say. Let's see if, as you can see, it hasn't broken 2.5 mil. Let's actually go into the 1 second time frame. And as you can see, as soon as it hit 2.5 mil, huge sell. Why? Because it's a psychological point. Why didn't it do that at 2.45 or 2.39? Okay, it's because it's a psychological point. But look now, it is staying close to 2.5 mil. That's a good sign. That's what we want to look out for. It's not like you see here, for example, how it went up to 2.37 and it dropped and then it started staying closer to here. That's not the best sign. You want it to stay close to where it wants to break. All right. But then again, don't think, oh, just because it did this, it's going to continue dipping. No, these are the times where you want to DCA in. So obviously you wouldn't buy the top here. It's a bit too late. But let's just say perhaps you were getting into a coin like this and you saw it here. When you see a dip like this and you see that it's clearly still in an uptrend, and if you don't know what an uptrend is, go watch my other videos. You can see it creating a staircase for like trend. You buy in on these dips, right? You DCA in on these dips. You don't buy the tops, you buy the bottoms, right? But bottoms of the uptrend. So again, as I said, it's like a staircase. You don't buy the top of the stairs, you buy the bottom of the stairs, right? But yeah, as you can see, it is staying around. If I just go to the 1 minute time frame, it is staying very close to 2.5 mil. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does break 2.5 mil. Now, if I can quickly show you that I did actually call this in my group. So as you can see here, 1.1 million. And I did say, wish I saw this earlier, but I wasn't active. Because to be fair, if I did see it any earlier, around like 400, 500K, I would have probably called it, but I didn't. But as you can see, I said this could do another 2 to 5x. It's already done a 2.5x because of PopCap, but DCA in, we're at the very top. And yeah, as you can see, I give live updates as well. Now, I do have a free group as well. The link will be in the description below if you want to join that. It's where I give free calls every now and then. And I've also got a private group. But in order for you to be on a private group, you obviously need to message me on Telegram. But yeah, hopefully you guys understand exactly what goes through my mind when I'm going into coins of this kind of market cap. Now, to be fair, in Solana, a lot of people tend to not hold on to their bags for long enough, and we tend to see coins die out very, very, very quick. So these bigger market cap coins tend to be in our favor because they can hold up a lot longer, right? Lately, we've been seeing coins barely make it to like 200k market cap and they die out. That's why I said I probably would have called this if I saw it earlier, because it did manage to reach more than 300k market cap. It managed to revive itself, and as soon as I see, so what would have made me want to call this before is when I see a coin go to like 350k market cap, for example, and it dies out, but then it revives itself and manages to touch all-time high again. As soon as I see this, I would say to my, not only to myself, but to my community as well, I would say, listen, Pop Dog has just managed to get to all-time high again. I'm going to be looking for an entry to DCA in order for us to be able to catch it if it does break all-time high. If it doesn't break all-time high, then we'll have to cut losses at, let's say a 20% loss, for example. But this is exactly what I would wait for. So look, we can see it's in a clear uptrend, right? Obviously, you can see the staircase format here. So if I just draw it quickly, you can see staircase format. It's going up, up, up. Although it's very small, it's still going up. It's in an uptrend, right? I would have bought this because, as you can see, it's inevitable that it was going to dip as soon as it touches all-time high, because there's going to be people that doubt the coin. There's going to be people that say, what if it doesn't break all-time high? Let me sell here, because they can't see the vision, because all they can see of the chart is this, right? And that's scary because they can't see the upside yet. So I would have bought here in hopes for me to at least be able to make, let's say, a 2x if it does break all-time high. And it did, right? If it didn't break all-time high and it went up to here and then went back down again, I would have probably cut losses if it broke 200k, right? And that's what? Let's say that's like a 10, 20% loss. Not really that bad. As you know, if we go to the position now, I am on about 55% profit. So right now we're on 6.3 Sol plus 0.6. We're on about 7 Solana. So again, the aim is to turn that into 500 Sol. I actually did cut the video because I finished the video, but as soon as I finished the video, I actually decided to sell because, as you can see, it didn't actually break the barrier, what we were calling, the psychological point of 2.5 mil. So we can expect it to dip further than what it was aiming to dip to anyway, which was 2 mil. So right now, as you can see, it did close below 2 mil. So just to give you an idea, as soon as it touched 2.5 mil, it then did this massive dip to about 2 mil, and then it bounced back up. And what I was waiting for was to see if it's going to close above the previous high. Like, a lot of people get trapped into thinking it's going to pump just because they see it pass all-time high, but it didn't close above it, so it means nothing, right? So as you can see, it didn't close above it. In fact, it closed below it. And that's what alarmed me to think, okay, now we might enter a downtrend, right? Now, obviously, there's no certainty that it's going to continue in a downtrend, but by the looks of it, it probably will, right? So what I did was, as soon as it went up, down, up, as soon as I saw it close here and start going down again, I sold around here. So I took about 53% profit. As you can see, 2.17 Sol. So right now I'm on about 6.9 Sol. So that's a 1.9 Sol profit. And yeah, as I said, I am going to be doing a challenge. Let me know if you guys want to see 5 to 500 Sol challenge, or 5 to 5 Sol right now is about £500, which is I think about like $750. So I don't mind doing that to $100k dollars or $50k dollars, whatever you guys want. I don't really mind. Either one is achievable. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions in regards to what I've spoken about in this video, let me know as well. And if you also want to keep up with this chart, just go to 10th of July, 2:45 UK time, and you can obviously take a look. And my free community is in the description. Join it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.